Originally, we were going to do a podcast with you about our 86K deal, and we can still go through with that. But since then, we did 110K in a week, and then the whole month we did 208,000 in a month. Yeah,
208K. Dude, that's amazing.
I know, man. So I mean, we can talk about whatever you want.
No, let's talk about that. $208,000 in a month.
Yeah, man.
So,
and some change, obviously when we're not the greatest, what's the words, bookkeepers, but it's give or take, or right around there. Because not all these are wholesale deals.
They're what?
Not all of these are wholesale deals either. We're doing
fix and flips, or
yeah, we're doing everything now. We with how hot the market is, it's just hard to give away wholesale a deal when we can just take it down and list it. So
we just do that in Utah, though.
So you guys are doing wholesale?
Yeah, wholesale and fix and flip, and creative financing, you name it, JV deals. We got to do it all.
Love that.
Okay, so all right, well, Sean,
what I do is
I was just gonna say, I'm sharing my screen too with just my network, I guess if you want to call it my community people. So anyway, just trying to get as much engagement as possible, right?
Yeah, cool, no problem.
So
what I'm gonna do is I am so we'll just go right into the interview, and then after the interview, I'm gonna record an intro and an outro.
Sounds good. And I have this live, by the way, so yeah, but I got people just getting ready to hear the Godfather of wholesaling speak. What nickname do you prefer? Do you prefer the Godfather of wholesaling? What
I don't know.
What's your favorite?
I think I'm the Godfather just because I have more gray hair than anybody, and I've been in the business for longer than everybody. But yeah, I don't care. Godfather's cool. That's a Grant Cardone thing, isn't Grant Cardone the Godfather?
He might be, but you're the Godfather of wholesaling.
Look at that! Hey, there now I get to see them. They're on the screen.
Are we on the screen? Let's go.
Yeah, well, no, they're on my screen now. I can see. I have like a confidence monitor. I can see you guys now. So
cool.
Here. Okay, you can turn them down slightly.
Banner.
But Nathan, see, look at you got some grease in your hair. You got your beard all shaved.
Hey man, I had to get ready for this. I went to the barber, bro.
Corey's got no grease in his hair. It's just Sunday sun times.
Yep.
I have my computer.
Yeah, I just got back from a trip to from Mexico, Puerto Vallarta. I just got back yesterday.
Puerto Vallarta. Well, I have stories about Puerto Vallarta and spring break in college.
Oh, you do, man? I think people want to hear more about that than they do of our deals.
That I will not share. I will not share those stories because my wife doesn't even know those stories.
Well, there you go. Hey, not the time to disclose it then, right? On this podcast, and
yeah, probably not on a live feed.
Man, I'm telling you, it was.
So what? Hey, what?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what market are you guys out of?
Utah.
Salt Lake.
Utah.
But you know
yeah,
how
I was wondering what that was behind you. I see the freeway and I see
that's mountains.
Beautiful
mountains,
view. The mountains.
Salt Lake City.
The traffic, nice. So we know we need to, keep it going. We don't need to
rocking and rolling.
That's right. And what kind of background you got there? Is that like a virtual little background? That's cool.
Yeah.
So Nathan, can you screen share really quick? I just want to test.
You want me to screen share?
Yeah, it's just share really quick.
Yeah, I think you have to enable the screen share. Is he still there?
I'm here. He's
yeah, I think
walking back to his office.
The host needs to enable the screen share so I can do it.
He's gonna do it right now.
Okay. You got a whole crew over there, huh? Getting this.
No, it's Alec and his brother, and then it's just a little studio set up. But
That's awesome, man.
I'm trying to get this contractor to start getting in here and level my office. Then the place is going to be decked. We're going to get that done.
Sounds awesome.
It's going to be a kicking event center.
Me and Corey have just started doing podcasts recently, and it's pretty fun, to get people on and chat and whatever.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, who's you were on what's his name? Guy from
Jerry Norton.
He has a huge following. Yeah, Gary Norton. Yeah. How'd that go?
Jerry Norton. Yeah. So Jerry, it went well.
Jerry Norton, yeah.
We went to Jerry Norton's fast track program before, almost a year and a half ago, and then after that, we got into yours that following April. So it was a year ago, a little over a year. We did his, and then we went to yours. I mean, you know how it is. It's the more you can learn, the better.
Sure.
So it was and the thing that I love about coaching and all these programs is it's more about the relationship, right? I mean, you can learn a ton of stuff, but it's really cool to network and start hanging. I mean, I'm gonna see you later this month at the at the 6-figure syndicate thing.
Yeah, I think I think that's how everybody learns. I mean, I probably bought everybody's courses, went through everybody's courses.
Oh man, you
learn a little piece here and a little piece there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is part of it. So yeah,
Jerry's
an awesome guy.
Yeah, you like to stand up while you do the podcast.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, you can go ahead and screen share. Try a screen share right now.
Okay. Dang, says host disabled
test it.
Still says host disabled participant screen sharing. Corey, are you able to screen share it?
Let me try. Nope.
Hey Corey, do me a favor. Go on your Instagram real quick and see if I'm sharing this to the Instagram live.
Do you need to share your screen or no?
No, I don't need to. We can just chat.
Yep, it's working.
Does it look wonderful?
It's just me.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't need to share anything, do you?
All right, we're ready. You
No,
ready?
I don't.
We're ready.
We are ready, Freddy.
Hi.
Running a little light thing in my window.
Can you see my light thing?
Yeah.
You can see pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys look good.
Hey man,
Wait for the cue from Eric so we can.
I've been trying to dress up for work lately.
Looking spiffy.
It's all about the collar.
Are you trying to influence Corey to dress up for work?
There's nothing I can.
I hate. It's like actually my team is back in the office, kind of like quasi. So I'm like, damn, I got to dress. I got to put some pants on now. I usually just come in gym clothes half the time.
That.
No, Corey's like that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I guess it's just whatever you feel is right.
So,
Whatever gets you motivated in the morning.
You ready to go see JP in a couple weeks?
You talking about Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. Did you buy the tickets already, Corey?
Yep.
And are you giving me one, or am I having to pay you back? What's this? What is this?
Pay me back.
How much are they?
$75.
Oh, that's worth it.
Yeah. I bought them pre-sale, so I got a bunch of them.
What are you guys seeing?
Jordan Peterson.
Ooh. Cool.
Are you a fan? Do you like Jordan Peterson, Sean?
I don't know if I hate to say this, but I
Wow.
don't know Jordan Peterson that well.
He's
Yeah, no worries. Check him out on
But
YouTube.
I feel like I feel like I should.
I
And
feel like
feel
he's
dumb
like-
probably.
He's a pretty analytical guy. He's like a very what is he articulates his he's a scholar if
Smart
that's
guy.
what you want to call
Yeah.
him. Smart guy. He just like analyzes like
And what's his niche?
he's more
Well,
yeah, you got it, Corey. You know exactly what
he was a clinical psychologist, and he got famous from like people. He's from Canada. He got famous from like Canada trying to force him to use certain pronouns, and so he got famous for like pushing back on that.
Nice.
he didn't like the compelled speech. He doesn't like that
It's
people
not that he doesn't want to use certain pronouns. He doesn't want the
He just doesn't want to
government
be forced.
to compel you to say.
Sounds
certain
interesting.
things.
I would love to go hear that guy.
He's probably coming to
That
Phoenix.
would be
Sean, you would love
Huh?
Jordan
you
Peterson.
would like him for sure.
I'll check him out on YouTube when we're done
Yeah, he's pretty.
for sure.
Get
All
him
right, are we ready?
get him on your podcast next.
Yeah, for real. We should reach out to him, see if he wants to come on ours the day before he.
That'd be cool. Yeah, probably just
Sean,
Ready?
one day they're on the line. Can you come on our podcast? It's called Investor
Sure.
Thrive.
Investor Thrive.
Yeah, like thrive as an investor.
Investor Thrive. Look for that. All right, ready? You guys ready?
Yeah, let's
We're
roll.
born ready. Let's get it.
Boom. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we are back, and I'm excited with this interview. I've got Corey and Nathan out of Utah, and they are just closing out a $208,000 and some change month, which is the biggest month you guys had, right? Biggest month, $208,000. Just so you can put that in perspective, I just Googled the what the average American makes, right? So the average American makes $51,000 a year. So you made over 4 times what an average American makes in an entire year in 1 month. So, we've got some that's amazing, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
that's something. I just
When
wanna
you put it like
congratulate you
that,
guys. That's a
Sean, that
huge
is
feat.
kind of crazy,
Yeah, it's amazing. So we'll get into that. And what I like to do on the podcast is kind of really dig in deep, so people, when they listen to this episode, they can go back and apply some of the information to give them really good nuggets where they can go back and apply whatever we're talking about and make money. So something that will allow them to go make money after they're done listening to it. Because it's great hearing stories. It's great hearing how it's done and backgrounds and what's happened and stuff. But it's really great to hear actionable to-do items that someone could that could learn listening to this, and then actually go out and make an impact in their life and actually do something. So that's the mission of the show, is to, because, listen, there is not many people in this world right now that make $208,000 in a month. And it's been able to do that. So to have you guys here is amazing. Now, the cool thing is, you guys love to share, right? You bet you have your own podcast. So what's the name of your podcast?
It's called Investor Thrive podcast. Well, I mean, on YouTube, our channel is called Nathan Payne's Investor Thrive TV. I mean, you can find it. It's super easy. You're just typing Nathan Payne, and it's the first YouTube channel. Thank goodness no one is more popular than me with that name.
That Nathan Payne is more. So go check those guys out for sure on YouTube. Check out their podcast. Listen to what they're talking about. I was very fortunate to meet them. They're part of our Syndicate 9 mastermind group, and we have a group where it's called Six Figure Syndicate, where people doing the minimum of 100,000 up to millions of dollars, and they have grown dramatically that I've seen since the first time I've met them. And you know what's great about these two, Corey and Nathan, is they ask great questions. They're very inquisitive. But they question, you know what I mean? So they question certain things. Why should I do that? And they really learn about it. And I wouldn't call you guys analytical per se. But you've asked a lot of really good, deep questions. And I think, you guys are all in your business, your numbers, and you went out and you've absolutely killed it. So first off, let's talk about your partnership real quick, and then we'll kind of get into, when you started real estate, and then we'll kind of break down your $208,000 a month. So,
For sure.
How long you guys been partners?
So we started, Corey, did we start May of 2018?
Yep.
So it's been about almost 4 years. Almost 4 years in May.
Okay, so 4 years in May you started, and then take us to March 20th or so, 2020. What'd that look like for you?
March.
So that was the day, that was the week that the U.S. shut down. Stock market plunged 2,000 points, and COVID and everything shut down. So you guys are partners. You've been in partnerships now for almost just under a year. COVID hits. How did you guys handle that?
Wow, good question. So we were in an office similar to where we are right now. It was like a Vivo office, and as soon as everything hit with COVID, we were on a month-to-month lease, and we're like, hey, let's just go work at home. Like it'll be safe. So we got out of there, and we all started working at home. We were struggling, man. Like straight up, we had a Colombian as one of our acquisition managers. He was born in the United States. He was an American, but we were giving him leads. We had just started. Corey, was that when we just started Nationwide PPC?
I don't think we started yet.
We hadn't started yet? Okay.
We're about to start.
So we had two virtual guys. That one of our friends who still works for us, Sean Hayes, who runs our leads management. He was acquisitions guy, and
recording in progress.
Michael was an acquisitions guy. And these guys we were getting leads, and it was just a mess.
We were honestly struggling to get leads at that time. So we were just here in Salt Lake trying to get leads, trying to do deals, not getting like really any success with any marketing channels. And that's when we decided to go nationwide and do we heard about like Nick Perry on some podcasts, and he was like, I'm crushing it with Google pay-per-click. So then we started trying to do that. We reached out to him, learned about it, started trying to do that, started doing nationwide. A similar story to kind of like what you did.
Got destroyed.
Locked up tons of deals, couldn't sell any of them.
Dude, Sean, you should have seen us our first month going nationwide. We got like 40 contracts. We were at Corey's house because all the guys, we're all friends and we live close. So we were at Corey's. We're like, we're going to crush it. We were all so happy the first month. And then the second month, like, didn't sell any of our deals.
I think we ended up selling a couple from that first month, but like 2 or 3 out of like 40 contracts.
Yeah, it was intense. So that's what started us is, to go back with the COVID thing, just to go over it again. We were just in Utah, then everything shut down. Then we saw Nick Perry's podcast, went to him, started the nationwide pay-per-click thing. He taught us, we paid him a certain amount of money to show us how he set up his campaign, spent a ton of money and got crushed.
And you're in business.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do admire about you guys. You pay for speed. I mean, you pay to learn, and you pay to learn to the fast approach, which is really, really smart. I mean, I do the exact same thing with people as well, which is great. So real quick about your partnership, what is your role, Corey, in the partnership? And then Nathan, what's your role?
So before I was over marketing and dispositions. Nate was over acquisitions, and we've like gone back and forth, rotated between all the roles like multiple times now. But most recently he was over acquisitions. I was over dispositions and marketing. And then more recently, Nate, you can kind of go into what we did more recently.
Yeah, so more recently, like, we have a pretty good hold of the business now, and I basically was doing our acquisitions for the company, but we hired someone to replace me, and he's really good. So I've kind of gone fully into like kind of like our coaching / like content and just building a presence of like helping beginners, right? Helping people that are brand new to where we were. Cause I think like from what I've seen from a lot of coaching, it's just like a bunch of educational videos, which are great. But, you know, the beginners really need a lot of hand holding, you know, and in the beginning, that's really hard for people to do, is give them that hand holding. But I want to kind of provide that. So that's kind of like what we're doing, is like, hey, let me kind of show you, and you can, you know, JV with our company. You can leverage our business. We can help you dispo your deals. Kind of like you can partner with us, right? So that's kind of what I'm over right now. That's where the podcast is coming. I have a Facebook group, Sean. I don't know if you know about it, but all this stuff I've learned from your mastermind. I mean, this is all things. It's about the more people you can help, the more your reach is, the more deals you can do too. Like we've done several more JV deals from my Facebook group. I just started a couple, maybe 6-7 months ago. Now it's got almost 1,700 people in it. It's just growing slowly. And we've helped several people, JV deals. So that's what I do. I'm just growing our presence, and Corey was running the whole business.
Yep. So I run the whole business now. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, because you basically now has set up, you know, 2 separate businesses, right? So you have an education business, and you have your real estate business now, and you've got that, which I personally, I think it's great, because, you know, you're making an impact in someone's life, right? The content that you share is making an impact in someone's life. And you're being able to help people and help them, you know, go from where they are to where they want to be, and be able to close that gap. You know, it's interesting. I've been fortunate enough. I've, you know, taught, for coaching, I've taught Nick Perry and Carlos Reyes, and, you know, a whole slew of people that have been part of the industry. And now they have went on, and they have massive followings, and they've impacted, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And it's such it's a great thing to make happen. So I think it's awesome, and it's incredibly lucrative too, you know, which is great. So it's another revenue stream, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. And that's why you're the Godfather, you know, you show us the way.
Yeah, hold on a sec. We lost sound.
Oh, he's got to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and say that again, because we just lost sound. Quick,
can you hear me?
Again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I said that's why you're the Godfather, because you've shown us all the way, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, when they say Godfather, because I have more gray hair than anybody. But
yeah,
see, I don't grow a beard, because if I grew a beard, my whole beard would be gray.
Oh, man. But yeah,
all right.
It's been fun. It's been fun.
What's that? Go ahead.
I was just saying, it's been fun. It's been a fun journey.
Yeah, it's been amazing. All right, cool. Love that. All right, so let's kind of break down this $208,000 a month. Let's give the listeners some really good content that they can take away, and they can go use it to make money. So let's start of the 208,000. So give us an idea of where the money came from. Meaning, we'll talk about, you know, because I know you guys do wholesale. I know you guys do wholesale deals. You do JV deals, right? So what did that, kind of explain what that looked like?
Well, yeah, and I actually did a breakdown. So Sean, for with the content that I'm putting out, like I actually break down what we do in our business in like PDFs and videos, just like, you know, anybody would, right? Let's just trying to give it out. Yep. So I know exactly where it's coming from. So it pretty much broke down into 4 different ways how we got that money. So every deal that comes through our business, we analyze with a deal calculator that we have. Like, what is the best exit strategy? Do we keep it? Do we fix and flip it? Do we burr it? Do we wholesale it? So every deal we get, we do that. So out of the 9 deals, 6 of them qualified for wholesale deals. They were in other states. We did not feel like keep or wanted to take on that, I guess you would say, the risk of those properties. So 6 of them we wholesaled, and those were in Texas, Florida, and Colorado. Those deals. That's where we're getting a lot of deals right now.
Okay. So first off, the 208 comprised of 9 properties.
Yeah, 9 deals.
Right. So out of the 9, 6 of them were wholesale.
Yeah.
And then the other three were what?
So the other one was we had filed an affidavit of memorandum contract on a property in Vegas that we were going to buy and flip, but we kind of got scammed. The lady, her husband had died, and she was like, "Oh, it has to go through probate, but send me I'm really struggling. My husband just died. Send me some money now and, to help me out. So we're like, okay, we'll send you. We were really feeling good at that time. We had a big deal closed. We're like, okay, this is a big one too. We don't want to lose out. So we sent her $2,500. Turned out that she knew that she couldn't sell it because her husband that died had left it to her family, his brothers and sisters. So we had filed an affidavit memorandum when we stopped talking to her, hearing from her. And then we found out that the family was trying to sell it like later. And we actually had contacted the family before they sold it to someone else. And we said, hey, his wife, your brother's wife scammed us out of $2,500. Can we get that back? And they're like, no. And we're like, well, we'll buy it. We're still interested. And we filed a memorandum of contract on it. Like, we'll buy it from you guys. And they're like, no, we're not selling. And then we found out like 5 days later from a title company that yes, they were selling. They were just trying to get rid of us. Right. So Open Door actually bought it, and we were like, yeah, well, we're going to let it go if you recoup our costs that we lost on sending people out there and the money. So they were like, okay, fine. So one of the deals was $4,500 from them, paying us to release our cloud.
And they're paying that off.
Yeah. So that was
perfect.
One.
Okay,
that was one.
Yeah, so that those are exciting. I love memorandums.
Oh my!
We had one. We had one come due a couple days ago. It was great.
They're interesting because you don't know, at least from our experience, you don't know if they'll work, right? Because like in Alabama, we had one that we had done all by the board. We put the earnest money and everything, and it just didn't work. Like, they just went and bought it.
Another title company closed it with the memorandum.
Closed right around it.
Yeah.
I've had that happen too. Okay, so let's talk about the so you had that one and you had two others. And what were those two?
One was a flip that we did with a local investor out here. We had made an offer on we had made, I don't know if you've heard of Sunday.com. You've heard of Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
We make offers on their properties, whether we're going to wholesale or buy them. And we got it. And we, instead of just wholesaling it, we decided to partner with a flipper in our network here. And we just said, hey man, we found a deal. Do you want to split this deal 50-50? We brought the deal, and we'll bring half of the earnest money deposit that's needed for the hard money. So 15%, half of that. And you take care of the whole flip. Like, we don't have to think about it. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. So we did that one, and we split the profit with him and didn't have to even really worry about that deal. So that's where that one came from. Just that was pretty much free marketing, right?
That's a brilliant idea. Yeah. I love doing that, where you don't have to check in on the property. You don't have to meet the contractors. You don't have to pick out tile.
Yeah.
You just let them do the best what they're going to do, and you can just bring the property. Great job.
And the reason the reason why we did that, just to kind of go a little deeper, is it had a major plumbing problem, and we don't know anything about plumbing. So we're like, hey, you got this.
Right.
So that one, and then the last one was a wholesale deal, which we made $86K on. And it was awesome. So we originally were going to wholesale it, and all the offers were coming in super low. And we're like, man, this is a hot area. I think everybody's just trying to like give us, stiff us on like, the details of the house being kind of crappy and stuff. And but so we're like, we're taking this thing down. So we took it, we bought it, listed it as is after just cleaning it out, and ended up, getting above asking price for the house on the MLS.
Nice. Good job on that. 86K, one deal. So what would have been the spread? So what would have been the spread if you would have taken the lowball offer?
Probably like 30, 40, which is still great, right? But
40.
we know we could make way more. And this one was funky because it had a solar lien on it. And the seller was not willing to wait till the lien got removed in bankruptcy because her mom died. So she's like, I need the money now. So we were like, okay, we'll take on the solar lien and wait till it gets removed. And then after we bought it, like a month after, the attorney that they were using got it removed. So that enabled us to make way more. Got it released. Yeah.
Perfect.
We bought it at a price knowing that we would still make money even if we had to pay off the solar lien. So we were
perfect.
Yeah, we're trying to be safe in that regard.
That was a crazy deal.
It was
Crazy
crazy.
deal. It's like, I was telling my team when we were in our meeting the other day, and I'm like, right now we're in a weird time of the market because we're in a seller's market. There's lowest inventory ever. Sellers know we're in a seller's market. All they got to do is stick their house on the MLS and they can sell it. So the people that are actually calling us right now from our marketing are the whack jobs, right? I mean, they're the ones that are just, there's the problem. There's a problem property. There's
a
title
problem.
issues. There's something massively. I mean, before I came on here, I was talking to my acquisition for Gia and talking to her about a property in California, smoke and deal, but she thinks the lady is schizophrenic. You know what I mean? She's just like on and off one. It's like those are the leads we're getting right now. It's gonna get better as the equilibrium changes from buyers to sellers. But now it's like insane craziness.
You wouldn't believe that 86K deal. That lady, I think she was literally crazy. Like, at the title company, she was so kind and nice. Like nothing happens. But when she got behind that text and keyboard, she was a feisty lady.
It's like a viper.
Yes.
She was like bipolar, right?
Yeah, like she had some courage behind that keyboard. Like
even on the phone, she would be yelling at us, crying on the phone.
She said that because she was on the phone with her acquisitions guy, she said that she got in a wreck because he was
pretended to be in a car wreck.
It was bad.
Wow. Okay. So 208,000. What does your team look like right now?
All right, Corey, you can.
So we have one acquisition guy. We have.
And is he local? Is he virtual?
He's local. And then we have
local.
Two lead managers. They're not local. They're virtual. They both live in Colombia, but they're American. Great. So
expatriates.
Expatriates. I just found on Facebook. Nice. And they're doing really well. They crush the phones. They work hard. And then we have a junior dispo guy and a dispo guy. And then me.
Well, you didn't say Sean.
Nice.
Corey.
Sean's. Yeah, I guess Sean works in both businesses technically, right? He works with you, and then he manages our lead managers.
But yeah.
So
okay, so tell me how the flow comes in. So your leads come primarily from, I think, Google AdWords. Is that your primary source right now, or is it direct mail or what?
We get a little bit from Google Ads, from online stuff. But then we mostly get cold calling, texting, and postcards.
Okay.
So those are our main sources right now. It's kind of it's honestly about an equal mix of cold calling and texting, and then direct mail a little bit less than that.
Okay. So cold calling and texting. And your cold callers, is that like an outsourced company or is that like in-house?
So we outsourced to a company out of Egypt. I don't even know the name. It's the same one Lee from our mastermind uses.
Yep, Lee Dotson. Yep.
Yeah, Lee Dotson.
We've tried so many times through our 4 years, Sean, to build our own cold calling teams. We just have not been successful building.
It's hard to want to manage something like that. So I find it easier just to outsource it. And then our texting team is out of the Philippines. There's only 2 texters, and I manage them, but I have like a manager over there, and she manages it like super well. I just got lucky and found, the right VA. She does a really good job. And then I do the postcards and obviously and Google Ads and stuff.
Right. Okay. So you got texting, you've got cold calling, some postcards, and some Google AdWords is bringing the majority of those leads, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so how many leads would you say would you get on average in a month?
So we're getting like 30 a day right now, 30 a weekday.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So that's like 600 a month, I guess, somewhere in that range.
So about 600 leads a month. Okay, that's pretty good. And would you say your like average cost per lead?
Let me look real quick. I think we're like right around $40-50, but I can double check.
Okay.
And not to mention, Sean, but we've also, shout out to Brandon Simmons, your guy. He's helped us out a ton. When we first went to your mastermind, before we started, we were kind of in trouble. We had done all that PPC that we told you about, and we were crushed in debt. And crushed in debt for us is like 50K. We were like, oh my gosh. So
which is a lot.
That is it is a lot. But he's also taught us not only to market and paid, but to do organic marketing, like to always be networking, to JV, to make offers on the MLS. So we do that a ton too. We do a ton of like prospecting.
Yeah, that's how you get that Sunday deal.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get anything without making offers. So that's been something huge. Corey Boatwright also helped us. We make tons and tons of offers. Corey, don't we make an offer to literally everyone that hits our CRM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone gets an offer. Even if it's unqualified, everyone gets an offer.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you get cost per lead around 40.
It's like $47 a lead right now.
Okay, that's great. $47. And what's your leads per deal, would you say?
We're right around like 100 still.
Yep.
So
which I think that's just how it is when you go the other route. The route of cold calling, texting. It just takes more.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take more because you have cold calling. It's cold, right? So you're gonna bring a lot of leads in, and you have to nurture them over their time. Okay, so you made a really, really good point. So everybody that comes in your lead managers, whether they're qualified or not, they get some sort of offer.
Yeah. So if it's like not someone who's ready to be like good acquisitions, we make them like a prelim offer. So they have kind of a number so they know like about where we'll be at. And then we keep following up and we just follow up with them. And then stuff that is like ready, I guess, kind of ready to make a decision or there's some motivation there. They pass them to the acquisition, set up an appointment. He calls and, makes them an offer. And then, whether they accept it or not, then we do a lot of follow up. So everyone gets an offer.
So question, what's your offer look like? Is it written offer with an expiration date? Or is it a verbal over the phone ballpark type of thing?
So with lead managers, like the preliminary offer, we call it a preliminary offer. So they get a text and an email, not like a contract or anything, but like a text and an email. So it is in like written form so they can refer back to it.
Yep.
And opportunities, like they all get written contracts. So I don't know if I got to talk to the acquisitions guy. I don't know how much he does, like has it expire or not expire. I know I've told him to have some expire. I mean, it's kind of up to his discretion whether he has them expire or not. I think he most of the time, I think he pushes them to have an expiration to kind of push them to, at least give us a yes or no.
I think if it was me, I would put the preliminaries. I put an expiration in bold. This offer expires on so-and-so date at this time.
Yeah.
That creates a little bit of urgency, and I'd have a little clock inside the email that would tick down.
That's a solid point.
Pretty cool.
That's a solid point because if it expires, it could say, "Hey, at beyond this point, reach out for additional offer or another offer or whatever." Maybe
so we did it.
Yeah, or an updated pricing because the market's moving so quick.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly.
One thing we just started doing is printing off like a written offer to send, and that has like an offer deadline on it. So we send that in the mail.
Show them the envelope, Corey.
It's in the other room. I'd have to go grab it.
Okay, never mind. It's got like our logo on it. It looks pretty professional.
Our logo looks professional. So like any opportunities where we're like, hey, we want this person to remember us, we send them an actual written offer in the mail. So it's got
you actually print it out, stick it in an envelope, and you mail it out.
So we print it out. It's got like a pretty like.
I'll go get it.
and then we send it with a contract, and it has an expiration on it. So Nate will grab one. He's got it. It's in Jake's drawer. So yeah, we started doing that. We'll see how that works. I bought like, a couple hundred envelopes. We'll give it a shot.
So you got a guy stuffing envelopes in the room. Okay, so Corey, please tell me. So when it comes to your offers, you have your lead managers that are emailing out the offers, preliminary offers to the sellers.
Something like that.
Explain. Oh, something like that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So you just mail those out, huh?
Yeah,
and
so
then,
we put a contract, and we put like kind of like a nice looking cover letter offer with like the price and the deadline and all that, and then send it to them.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. So Corey, tell me about you got 2 lead managers. They're in Colombia, Patriots, which is awesome because I'm a prior U.S. Marine, so I love that. So these guys, tell me how they're making offers, because right now, currently, we're in the lowest inventory, that we could possibly be in. I mean, the inventory is low all across the country. So how are they making? Are they looking at sold properties and then taking the lowest of the low solds? Are they looking at pending properties and seeing how fast they're pending in the neighborhood? How did you teach them or train them to actually make legitimate offers?
So with the lead managers, they're making offers to people who are they're typically people who are not going to take a cash offer. So if it's someone who's like their property needs work or there's any sign of motivation, the lead manager doesn't make an offer. They pass that to the acquisition guys. So with the lead managers, we don't want them spending a ton of time like doing research. So they do a quick, Zillow Redfin check, and then do like 70 to 85%, depending on the market of that. And then we give those like leads that are unqualified, essentially, like whether it's like a retail or the property doesn't need much work, or there's really like zero motivation, or, timeline's way off. We just kind of give them a base number. That way they have something from us to I guess my thought was it makes it seem more legit, right? If we give them an actual number versus not give them a number. So if anything happens, they can come back to us. So it's really more of like a quick thing. We don't want them spending a bunch of time researching, but they do look at Redfin. They look at some Redfin comps, and then base an offer off that.
Okay. So they'll take Redfin, they'll take Zillow, kind of do an average of it, and they're going to send an email of roughly 70% of that value. And is that a hard number offer, or is that a ballpark number? Meaning, is it 280 to 295?
Yes,
and we're going to be in that range once we find out more details.
Yeah, we do a range. So we do like typically like 70 to 80%. And give them somewhere in that range.
We're basically following the model. We're basically following the model of Open Door. You want an offer from because we've tried to sell a lot of deals to Open Door, and they give you a giant range, and you're like, "Ooh, I'm excited about the higher range," and then they go see your house, and then they freaking lowball you after they've seen it. So
then you're 20,000 under the low range.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's happened to us. So, but people like Open Door, right? Because they feel like, okay, this is credible, this feels professional, and my theory on making offers to everyone, even if they don't answer, is, Sean, you know it. We on PPC, they don't just fill out one form; they usually fill out 10, right? And then they have 10 people trying to call.
Right. Yep.
They got the 10 people trying to call, and what we used to do is we used to just call. They wouldn't answer, and I would send a text saying, "Hey, can I get on the phone with you so I can ask some questions about your property?" And these people are just getting blasted by people just trying to get on the phone. They don't want to talk anymore, in my opinion. They just want an offer. So as soon as we started doing, just freaking give them an offer, let's get them on the phone, show them we're legit, our contact rate went up. We're just more credible.
Right. And are you seeing, so let's say theoretically you email out 100 offers. Are you seeing people respond back via email saying, I'm interested, or are they calling in as an inbound call? how are they reaching back to you? What does that look like?
They typically email back or text back. Once in a while we get a call, but mostly it's a response to either the email that we sent out or the text that we sent out.
So you'll put in the email somewhere saying, if you're interested in the offer and you'd like to discuss further, please email me back, or you can shoot a text, or you can call us.
Yeah, I say call or text this number or emails back.
That's great. That's great. That you can take that to the bank right there. You can take that to the bank. For everybody who's pulling in leads right now that are talking to sellers, they really don't know if the lead's qualified or unqualified, but you actually get them a number. You never know what they're thinking, who else they're talking to, what else is going on in their life right now, where they are in the I call it the seller decision timeline. And in that timeline, you might get them to where you send out an email 3 weeks earlier, and then now they're ready, and they email back or text and say, okay, fine, I'm going to take it. And now you get yourself a deal. So out of 100, would you say you get 1%? So you'll get 1 out of 100 that comes back that could potentially turn into a deal. Is it 3%, 5%? Do you have any idea? You might not have those numbers.
We probably get for every 100, we probably get like 10 to 15 responses, and probably like 1 or 2 that are interested in moving forward.
That's great.
Most of them are like, no,
it's
too low. No, it's too low.
And Corey's even set up through the email, not only to call or text, but if they're interested in the offer, they can click on and it will go to a Calendly invite or link for our acquisitions guy, which is great. So they can just set up an appointment to do a Zoom call right there.
Yeah, they can call, text, email, set up an appointment, whichever they feel comfortable with.
Nice. Okay, so these 9 properties, what was the source of those? Were those offers? Were those? Do you know the source of the marketing for those, for the 9 of the wholesale?
Yeah, so we got a couple from texting. I think 2 from texting, 2 from cold calling. 1 was Sunday, and then the rest were online.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Actually, there's probably a couple. I think there's actually a JV in there too, and then the rest were online.
JV. Okay. So online.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Variety. Actually, I take that back. 1 was also from postcards. So we did get.
So they pretty much just came from they came from all different sources.
Yeah.
Now, with your postcards, are you mailing in Utah?
A little bit. But we actually mail to like smaller markets, kind of like what you taught us. So we mail to Idaho Falls. We mail to, which is a town of like 100,000 people. We mail to Reno, Nevada, which is, a little smaller, not unknown, but not huge either. We mail to Columbia, South Carolina, Huntsville, Alabama. A couple parts in Florida, like not in Tampa, but outside of Tampa.
Yeah.
And I think
Florida's hot right now.
I think that's it.
That's great.
I wouldn't say that's one thing we've struggled with is marketing, because we have never liked to spend a ton of money, and it just seems like the monster, the guys that crush it in this industry, they're dropping like 100, 200, 300,000 a month. We just have never gotten there yet, but marketing's always been
close to 30 right now. And those small markets, mailing those, like we've never really had any success with mail, but mailing those smaller markets, we've gotten a lot more calls back, like a way bigger response rate.
Yeah, you mail here in Utah, it's good luck. You send 8,000. Yeah, you might not even get a call with 8,000 postcards or.
Yeah, same in Phoenix. I mean, if you send 10,000 mailers, you're not even going to. You're maybe going to get 2 calls, and they're just going to say, "Take me off your list." You know what I mean? So, and then people get discouraged because you're like, I spent 10,000. I did 10,000 mailers, and it's not working, right?
Right.
It's just the dynamic of
for
the
a
beast,
beginner. 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000's a lot. I mean,
that still hurts us. We're like 10. Oh man.
Yeah. So last month I sent out 25,000 mailers. And I think I could check how many leads we got. Just give me a sec.
Corey, by the way, Sean, we use Salesforce. I know you have what is it? REI Logic?
Freedom Logic.
Freedom Logic.
Yep.
That's good too.
Yeah,
we
Freedom
used to
Logic. Yep.
we used to use that a variation of that. So CRMs are good, but
yeah, Salesforce is a good platform. I mean, you can customize it pretty much. It's a great little CRM.
Yeah,
for someone that has the wherewithal to kind of put that together. So
yeah, Corey's had to go to college for that thing again.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a nightmare, but it does what we want now.
Yeah, so everyone I talk to that's tackled Salesforce is come out. They spend a lot of time on it. It was brain damaged, but they got it to a point where they can handle it.
I had a meeting with a guy last week. He asked me if I would recommend it, and I really didn't know how to answer that. I was like, I don't know if I can recommend this to you because it's such a pain that I honestly don't know if it's worth it. Once it's set up, it's worth it, but it's been a battle. But last month we had 60 leads from postcards, which is probably more than we've got in the last 4 years. Wow. Combined from all the postcards we did.
How many postcards did you do, Corey? 25,000 or 2,500?
25,000.
It's 25,000. So that's even a low response rate too.
Yeah, well, I think those are actual leads.
Oh, those are actual leads. Okay.
Yeah, so there's responses and leads. So those are actual leads that are coming.
That's great. That's a great thing.
Okay, so leads come in, your 2 lead managers. Are they working 9 to 5? Are they working odd hours? Are they working 24/7? What's the deal?
So they work 9 to 5 right now.
So
and that is Utah time, Mountain Standard Time?
Actually, Eastern time.
So Corey, you got to tell them about our struggles with the leads management, though.
Yeah, well,
what's that?
Most of our stuff is on the East Coast, like Florida, like Alabama, Texas, so East and Central time. So yeah, they work Eastern time.
Okay. So 9 to 5 Eastern time, they take inbound calls, they're making their offers, and they schedule an appointment with someone that's motivated. And then what's that gap in appointment time? So if somebody lead calls in right now, are they scheduling an appointment within minutes, within hours, within days? What's that look like?
We try to do immediately unless he's on a call or, we do immediately unless he's on a call, and then it's okay. Let me have him call you in a half hour, or, if the seller wants to call back at a later time, then we put it when they want it. But if they don't care, we do it immediately.
And to set up that appointment, do they go into a Calendly and then they set the appointment form and then it automatically goes? Or what's that transition look like?
That's just all in the CRM. So you just do it in Salesforce. So they just set up
Salesforce.
Yeah. And it gets on the,
so it makes an appointment calendar,
and then they send them a link in Slack to the opportunity.
Got it. So then he sees that opportunity and your acquisition guy gets on. And what has been the best process for him to actually get the contract? Is it been, he talks about, is he using a underwriter? Let me talk to the underwriter. Let me get back to you. Is it where here's my number, and here's how it works? Or, what do you think is working best for him?
Yeah. So the sales process he goes through is he gets on the phone, talks about motivation, timeline, that stuff, kind of digs a little deeper into that. And then we use the underwriter thing that kind of you taught us.
You taught us that too, Sean.
Yeah, he uses the underwriter.
It works.
So yeah, after he talks, he kind of gives him a range, right? And then he's like, but I need to verify with my underwriter. We'll probably be in this range. Gets off the phone, calls back 10 minutes later, tells him, I think we can get this approved. If we can get that approved, is that something that you're ready to move forward with today? And then they say yes or no. And then he's like, okay, well, let me talk to my underwriter. And then we present, then we get a formal offer ready and present him a formal offer.
Got it.
So
now is he, that's a great process. So is he presenting the offer to the seller while the seller's on the phone in front of their computer, or is he getting an agreement or a meeting of the minds with the seller and then actually sending the offer and then waiting for it to get signed?
So what he's supposed to do is he's supposed to, get the offer ready, then call the seller when it's in front of them and present it, go through it. He does that, and then other times he doesn't do that. But our process is to, present it to the seller while they're looking at it.
Yeah. And I can't emphasize anybody listening that is probably the most successful way to get a commitment and get someone on the phone and get the contract signed right there, because it brings the seller to a decision point right there where they're actually going to sign a contract, number one. And if they are hesitant on signing the contract, then there becomes an objection, and now you can overcome the objection. And if you don't bring them to that decision point and you just send them an email or send them the actual offer, then they have the ability to open it, look at the price, close it, and then blow it off. And we know, especially now in this time at day and age, is that sellers are, more difficult in this, So, they tend to procrastinate. They don't want to make a decision. So our job is to influence them in a positive way to do business with us, right? And the only way we can get to that actual point of decision is get them in front of a computer where they actually can click the button and sign the contract. So I think that for us, it's really, really important. Our close rates go way through the roof when they actually have them in front of the computer versus just sending out that contract. So I think that's awesome.
Does not work. I mean, 90% of the time, if you just send it, they're not going to sign it. You're going to have to follow up and then hope you get them back on. Half the time, you can't get them back on the phone if you just send it to. So
exactly.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
They sellers have no loyalty to you, even if you're the nicest guy, build the greatest rapport. They'll tell you what you want to hear. They'll get your offer, and then they'll call the next guy and say, "Hey, this guy just offered me $220. Can you beat it?"
It's true. Actually, we had Renee, one of our sales reps, on a property in Long Beach, California, had an investor in the house, had her on the phone, got the offer from her, put the phone down, told him to match the offer, and then wrote up the contract while she's still on the phone with the other guy and said, "Yeah, sorry, thanks. I just signed with him."
Can you believe that?
She was devastated. She was like,
that's brutal.
They'll do it.
She spent like 30 minutes building rapport with a guy out the window.
Rapport is great, but in the end, it's who can get the deal done.
Who's got the money?
Who can close the deal and get it done? Okay, so now you have a contract. It's signed. Let's go to disposition. You have a junior, and then you have a senior. What's the role of the junior? What do they do?
So junior's role is to send out the marketing for the deal and respond to all the texts and call, realtors, basically set up showings is their main role. So they work on getting the property out there, getting as many showings as possible. And then after that, it goes to the senior dispo guy. He kind of negotiates. I mean, it's pretty much how yours is set up. He negotiates and closes the deal.
Okay, so when the junior acquisition sets an appointment with a agent / buyer to go in the property, how is that positioned with the buyer and with the seller? How are you positioning that, or how is your guy positioning it?
So hopefully it's vacant, right? We love it when it's vacant, but if it's not vacant,
hopefully,
yeah, if it's vacant, we try to get a lockbox on it, and we send as many people as we can. If it's not vacant, we set up a showing to have 3 to 4 people go in at a time. We essentially tell the seller, like, hey, we're gonna have a couple of our partners walk through, maybe a contractor, just to kind of get a better idea of the deal, make sure everything looks good, everything checks out. It should only take 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll be out of your hair. And then we tell the buyers, just walk the property and then give me a call after to talk about price and closing dates and all that stuff. We just kind of set up both sides to, make sure they're not talking about price or anything like that. Any new agents or new buyers, we, tell them what wholesaling is, how it works, kind of the process, so they know not to talk to the seller. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we do it.
I think what we've implemented in the past probably 60 days is where we do conditional offers to our sellers. So we'll say, hey, we have a conditional offer for you, and that we have 3 conditions, and then I'll give you the offer. If you can agree these conditions, then we can give you a offer at this price. But the conditions are, number 1, we need to get pictures. So can you agree, Mr. Seller, if you can get us some pictures of the property? Yes. The second condition is that we need to get eyeballs on the property, and we'd like to be able to schedule time with you where we can have someone go look at the property, either contractors or agents or whatever it might be, to come look at the property. If you agree to that, that'd be great. And the third thing is you got to be responsive to our title companies that need to get information so we can get the closing done in a expedited time frame. So if you can agree to those conditions, then I have an offer for $420,000, and then we can move forward. So we actually have them sign off on a conditional approval, and it's actually been working really well.
Interesting. So that's a good idea. Because pictures are like the most important part. You can't sell the deal without pictures. Like no one's interested in the deal without pictures.
Yeah, and even if you could sell it without pictures, you're not going to get as much money. You're not going to get as high of an offer.
Now, have you tried Matterports or professional photos, or is it we rely mostly on the sellers unless we just can't get pictures?
We thought about Matterport. It's just, before we were locking up a lot of stuff we couldn't sell. Now we might reconsider it because we're locking stuff up at better prices that we're typically able to sell now. So we might consider something like that. I actually had a guy I know. He's like a developer. He made like a little app that we're gonna start using. That it sends them a link. They open it up, and they can take all the seller. This is for the seller. They can take all the pictures, and it automatically uploads to like a database, and then we can go grab the pictures rather than them having to figure out how to send it or create a Google link or text them. Because if they text them, they usually send like 5 or 6 pictures. And it's like, we want more pictures than that. So, we're working on that. That's pretty much done. So we're going to give that a shot. We've paid for photos from to have an agent go take photos a few times. But yeah, mainly it's the seller. We're leaving it up to the seller.
Okay, so now your your main way to dispo has been through agents, getting people in to see the property, and especially these other markets. So that's been your main way of dispoing. Have you done other methods that's worked well that maybe we don't know of?
Once in a while, we JV if we can't find our own buyer. So we're not afraid to let someone else give it a shot, like a local guy. They might have, some other connections that we don't have. Because, we're reaching out to most of these people. If it's a new area, we're reaching out to them cold. So we don't always get the best response rate. Or we're using skip trace lists, so we don't know if the phone numbers always work. There's a variety of factors that go into that, but we JV with some. But that's pretty much what we do. We send it out to the cash buyers. We send it out to the flipper agents from REI Automator. And then we'll call agents from realtor.com. And then if we can't sell it still, we'll start reaching out to other wholesalers.
Okay. Awesome.
That's pretty much all
that's your whole business. Now, all that. So we now
we do put it on Facebook. We put them on Facebook and Facebook groups, trying to see if there's any buyers that are on there, and we do find buyers on there once in a while. So
that actually works.
Facebook
works. All right. So this $208,000 a month. What was, say, your top 3 biggest struggles to get certain properties through the finish line? What would it say 3 of the biggest struggles that you had to go through to get whatever property through to the finish line? And then let's talk through that, how you overcame that problem.
Yeah.
Number one issue is probably title companies. Title companies or title problems, just title in general. Like with one of the deals, we're dealing with like HOA.
Yeah, we did one in Boca Raton, and I think we had to. We could have closed like probably within like
in January.
Supposed to close in January, but the HOA apparently had to approve the buyer that was buying it, and it just no one really knew what they were doing, especially title.
And then another deal, like we mentioned earlier, had a solar lien on it. So we had to work through that. Because the solar lien was $47K. So without the solar lien, we would have made, cut our deal in half, a little over half. So.
And the other one that we had with the buyer, remember how I told you we split the deal 50-50 with the flipper? That went under contract about 4 times with traditional buyers with traditional financing, and it fell through 4 times. And it's because they'd go. We didn't completely flip it. We fixed the plumbing problem in the bathroom, and the rest we just left as is, because that's you don't really need to spiff stuff up too much around here to sell it. Right. But it fell through 4 times, and we put it out there at $319, so we had an asking price at $319. They backed out. I think someone wanted like $321. We tried it. They backed out. So we were getting kind of discouraged. And then someone came in at $335 when our list price was $319, and we were like, yeah, even if it doesn't work out, it's already fallen through so many times. Let's try it. And they went through, and they were like ready to go, but it only appraised for $329 or $327. So it kind of sucks because they were willing to pay that much, but because they didn't get it didn't appraise that high, they didn't have the money to go $335. But we still got $7K more by waiting an extra month with all those other deals that fell through. So it actually worked in our benefit. We made more money. But
wow, that's pretty cool. So
the biggest issue is title issues.
Title issues.
Yeah.
So that HOA, how did you overcome that HOA? So the HOA had to approve. Now, for people doing this, you might be listening, and there's people listening that's done a ton of deals. There's people listening that you haven't done any deals. To be able to navigate title issues, HOA, sellers that ghost you, issues and stuff like that. That is primary. I mean, that's where I think I spend most of the time with my team is answering and figuring out solutions to overcome problems. Yeah. So, for that HOA or the solar lien on there, what was, do you get discouraged, when you're like, oh, here we go again, and it's a solar lien, oh, it's this, and it's, or it's easy. I know. I'm like, geez, is there just a clean deal out there?
Yeah, honestly, I think
there's not right now.
Yeah, I think we're so used to it. Like every deal has something. It seems like
every deal.
If it doesn't, like they probably wouldn't be selling to us. So,
So what's your mentality with your team on that? I mean, how do you, because I'm sure they get discouraged and it has title issues and there's this and there's that. What do you do to kind of corral them around? Okay, guys, we're going to get through this and, embrace it.
Well, I'll answer that. Corey is the greatest at being unshaken. Something crazy could happen and it doesn't faze him. So he is the what do you call that, Corey? Jordan Peterson says that you're temperate. It's very even. Like, is that what the word is? You're
pretty even deal, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I think everything has a solution, right?
Yes.
It's just a matter of figuring it out. And most of the time, it just takes a little time, and we'll figure it out. So as long as we can keep in contact with the seller, keep them on board, keep the buyer from getting frustrated. As long as we can keep that open communication, I feel like we can get most of them closed. It just takes some time. So as issues come up, just let them know, like, hey, it'll be worth it once we get it closed. This is just the way this business works. That's why we make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah. And again, just to kind of go over what I said again about Corey being a great leader, he is. It's you just have to be I guess, positive all the way through, right? Because my mentality, or I guess my personality is like highs and lows, right? Like I'm excited, but sometimes I get really frustrated. But Corey's like right here, so when something happens, it's almost like we're ready for it, because something could always happen. We're not counting our money until it's in the bank.
Yeah, that's another
Right.
thing. Keep your expectations, at bay till the money's in the bank.
Yeah, I tell my team, and I'm like, listen, the reason why you have a job is that your job is to be the greatest problem solver on the planet, to be with these sellers. If you can solve the biggest problems, we're going to make the biggest impact and make the biggest paychecks. So I said, so embrace the problems, because that's why we get paid what we get paid. And embrace. If we didn't have any problems and they just list their property, sell it, and then they could turn around and close it, and they don't need us, so embrace those problems. That's why we have a job. And let's just figure out that there's always a solution. We will find a way to overcome it. And 99.9% of the time, just like you said, there is a solution. So
yeah.
We've only had the last 2 years that we've been doing kind of all over the country. We've only had 1, maybe 2 deals we haven't been able to close from title issues. And so, like, most of the time, yeah, we close them. It's just a matter of, getting it figured out.
right.
Persistence. And sorry, Sean, I want to say what's really exciting about what we're learning is, the problem, like you're talking about, the bigger the problem, the more money you'll make. When we first started, we didn't know how to solve the simple problems, like closing within 2 days, right? Like when we first started, if someone's like, I need you to close in 2 days, we'd be a little worried. But you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway,
last video. Keep going.
Yeah, but closing within 2 days was a problem that we didn't think we could solve. But now it's like we can close today if we have enough, titles clean. So it's things like that, like, are exciting, because it's like, oh, that's not even a problem for us anymore. And I'm assuming with more and more time, you can solve more and more problems quicker.
Yeah, and then what happens is what I've found is that you have you've seen it before. The more experience you have, the more time in you're in the business. Guess what? You're going to run across another title issue. You're going to run across another, solar lien in the exact same situation. You're going to run across, and next thing you know, you find out that there's very similar problems, and they repeat over and over and over again. And now you've been like, oh, what? I already did that. You got to do this, 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 and this, and you can get it done. So here's one for you that's been happening a lot recently. So what do you do when a seller ghosts you, right? You have a buyer lined up, you're set to close. It's a $25,000 deal, and all of a sudden
happens.
Seller ghosts you. What do you do? What's your method? What's been working for you?
Easy. We've been dealing with this one since the beginning of our deal. You basically flex. You got to flex on them. It's like, hey, you know what? Look, I know you're there. I've sent you a text. I've sent you an email. I've called you. You're obviously not responding. So we've gone ahead and exercised the right to file, a notice or affidavit, a memorandum, whatever you want to call it, memorandum of contract. And we will be there when you go to close. So just, you flex and you say, hey, like, we've done this. We've won many, I guess, battles or, through the situation, and we're ready for the situation. And even it reference the part in the contract, and maybe even send them a screenshot and be like, this is what you agreed to. So,
And we tell them too, like, hey, we've started like, because we added a specific performance clause in our contract. We started saying like, hey, if you think you're going to sell it to someone else, we'll sue for specific performance. Like, you agreed to sell us this deal. Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of like we're threatening them.
We're not, you agree.
We're basically saying like, hey, you agreed. You got to live up.
Well, it also says in the contract, time is of the essence, right? So time of the essence means that they have to perform in a timely fashion, and ghosting and not signing contracts and not being there and not filling out, that is not time of the essence.
Right.
And that is a breach of contract essentially. So,
but we call them from tons of different phone numbers.
We'll
text them. We'll friend burner lines.
We'll friend request them. We'll send them a little DM. We're
And
not
most of
kidding.
the time-
We do that.
Most of the time, at least from our experience, it's been like the seller's phone gets turned off, right? They didn't pay their phone bill or something like that. That's what it
Yeah.
ends up most of the time being. But people that are trying to back out, I mean, we really lean on the affidavit of memorandum, because anyone that's backing out, they're trying to sell to someone else, like
Yeah.
99% of the time. So
Yeah, Sean, on my YouTube channel, I made a video of a seller who, like 2 days before we're supposed to close, we had the buyer, we're ready, all the funds, and he's like, me and my mom decided we don't want to sell anymore. And we're like,
Okay.
I don't think so, buddy. And
Yeah, I know.
okay, so I recorded him saying all that, and then I said, hey man, well, you don't have to sell it to me. You can decide to just stay there for the rest of your life with you and your mom, but the time you do sell, we will be there ready for you, and you will have to sell to us. And he's like, no, that's not how it works. The next day, he calls and he's like, okay, I'm ready. Because he just sat on it and knew like we weren't going to let it go. So that's just how it is.
Yeah, the big thing is to not, like, when the seller's trying to back out, like, don't back down. Like, they're wanting you to back down, and if you're new, you probably will back down.
Yep.
Like we did when we were new. But
we never back down.
Yeah, like you can't back down anymore.
We never back down.
It's like, oh yeah, you
never backs down.
It's like, you don't want to sell right now. That's completely fine. But when you do, which I know you will, we'll be there.
I don't even have the guys say that anymore, though. I say, like, hey, we're gonna move forward with this, and if we have to, we'll file a lawsuit for specific performance. Like, we're not waiting anymore either.
Okay, Corey's a little more aggressive than me. I'm like, all right, you don't have to sell, but when you do.
That's what we used to do. But then I don't remember who told us to add the specific performance thing, and we haven't had to test it, so I don't know that it works, but
it works.
It works to get them to move forward.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, first thing we do is, especially if it's a larger spread, we'll file memorandum just to make sure we have leverage, right? As soon as you have the memorandum filed, then you can flex, right? Because now you have leverage in the situation, knowing that they cannot do anything without your contract. Once you have that leverage in place.
Yeah. I was just saying, we've had to flex before we've had it filed. We're like, it's filed. But
it's filed. Hurry!
And then we hurry and file it.
Yeah, we just had one of these, Sean, like, where the seller, we agreed at 46 in Memphis. A couple days later, he's like, oh, I'm going with someone else. And we're like, no, you're not. And he's like, yeah, I am. We filed it. And then they just sent us verification that it's been, he tried to close and they wouldn't close it. So he's like, okay, I'm coming back to you guys. I'll close with you. It's like, okay, well, it worked. Thank goodness.
He tried to close at the same title company that we used to file our memorandum. So,
geez. What is it, like one title company in Memphis?
Yes,
that was karma. That came back.
Yeah, we got lucky a little bit, huh?
Yeah. We'll file the memorandum first, and then we're super nice with the seller, but we'll just say, hey, Mr. Seller, I understand that, but obviously we have a legal obligation, a legal contract. We got two different ways we can go down. Number one, we could just close a transaction. You could do what you said you're going to do. We can get this thing done. Or I'm going to have to get my attorneys involved. And now that we have filed a motion on their property, we put a lien on your property. You cannot sell your property to anybody else. And if you do try to sell your property, you're not going to be able to do it because it's going to pull up on title. And so that's number one. And number two is, if still that doesn't happen, then we'll file a lawsuit for specific performance. So I said, Mr. Seller, we really want to just obviously go down the path, what you agreed to. But the choice is yours. The ball's in your court. If you do want to go down the other way, then you're going to force us to take legal action. So and I usually try to put it in their court, so now it's their choice on what they're going to do.
That's probably a better move than
so.
Well,
yeah, it's like kind of. I said, listen, we just want to do what we all agreed to, basically what we signed to. But if you're going to choose to not be a man of your word and renege on your contract, then you're going to force me to go down the legal route. So,
yeah, and I'm assuming there's a bunch of
typically.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but first off, you got to get them on the phone, Most people, what we're finding right now is they just won't answer the phone. They won't answer the text. So now you got a memorandum filed, so now you got to send them something, or you got to do that text like you're talking about. You're taking a picture, just, FYI, we have 100% control of your property, and you have to send that. Either you have to send a certified letter or you send a FedEx.
Yeah. With the way social media is, that's I would send them an Instagram, a Facebook, a LinkedIn, maybe like even a Venmo, Venmo request. Look,
send them a Venmo.
Yeah, it's like, hey, listen, like I know
you're gonna get ding, 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 ding from Nathan Payne all over the place.
It's just like, hey, look, you get a request. It's like
a request from Nathan.
It's like, look, you agreed, and we're just trying to do, like you said, what we've agreed on, and this is what we're moving forward since we can't get a hold of you. So, that's just
calling them from a bunch of different numbers. It's just about persistence at that point. Like, calling, texting, emailing, send them a mail, like whatever.
Then you finally get them on the phone and you get them done.
Especially if it's a good deal, like.
Right. All right. So he's working on his camera over here. So to get this, so to wrap this up, so when you were in the midst of struggling, in that time where, things weren't working, you had credit card debt, and you're in that frame right there. What, and let's say someone else is going through that right now and they really want to make this work, and they're putting their time and energy into it, and they're dreaming about it. They want it to work, and a $208,000 month. They can't even fathom, but that's like the pinnacle of success for a lot of people to be able to accomplish. Literally that's 4 times what an average American makes. So you look at that right there, and you went from the struggle, to now success. What, for someone that's struggling, what type of words of encouragement, now Nathan, you're now in the new coaching and you're inspiring people. What would you tell that person that's struggling right there? Because you've been through it, and you both of you have gone through it, and now you've come out on the other side of success. What would you tell that person that is in the middle of that struggle?
So it all comes down for me, because I know, like, throughout our time, like, what we have not been doing and what we're doing now, it's massive action. When me and Corey first started, we would, make a couple cold calls, like a couple hours a day. We'd flyer a little bit. And now comparing, like, the action that we took when we first started and getting limited deals to, like, now, it's just action nonstop. It's making offers, it's leads coming in, it's calling. It's just a lot going on. And I think a lot of people struggle is starting in real estate because they think maybe 3 offers a day or 3 offers a week is going to get them a deal. That's not going to get you anything unless you get lucky. You have to be making multiple offers a day. You have to have leads coming in. If you do not have paid leads coming in, you need to be making offers on MLS, calling agents. You got to go put out a lot of effort. I think when you first get started, you don't understand what is required to get going, but I'd say at least 5 offers a day, at least. And some people don't even do that.
That's and I like that a lot because, because you can literally put your head down and work your way out of the swamp. The problem is people get, paralyzed. And they're like, they just like, they're like in the swamp and they get paralyzed and like, what to do, instead of just putting your head down and doing what is going to make money. What's going to make money is generating leads, making offers, getting contracts signed, and selling those properties, So
exactly.
That is the thing. So what about you, Corey? What would you say to someone that's in the midst of the struggle?
Yeah, along similar lines, like, you got to put in the action. Like, even 5 is probably a little low. Like, if you're in that much debt, you need to make as many offers as you can, right? Like, even if you don't have any more money to get any more leads, like, put in the time and effort. You always have time, right? So put in the time, make 10 offers a day onto JV deals, to MLS stuff, to for sale by owner, figure out a way to find a deal. And if you make enough offers, you'll for sure get a deal.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
Sean, sorry, Corey,
yeah.
finish.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Sean, when we were in that depths of despair when we first signed up for your program, because we took with our debt, we even got more in debt by going with your program, because we're like, we believe that Sean will help us out.
We're
So
really trying to crack the PPC code.
yeah.
So
anyway, when we were in the depths and really in debt, like we just took way more action than we were at that point, and we got out of it. Why? Because I started messaging like probably 100 people plus a day on Facebook saying, hey, I can help you move your deal. We started doing a bunch of stuff instead of just sitting there waiting for leads to come in, like the 10 PPC that we could afford that day to come in and hoping something happened. We stopped waiting and we did both. We took action and we responded to the incoming leads. And I think that's the key to success in this industry.
We got out of our debt because of JV deals. So Nate found a couple that we ended up being able to sell, helped us pay down our debt. And then from our mastermind, we had a cold calling deal in Denver that we couldn't sell. We reached out to Brian in our mastermind, and Brian
Patterson, right?
Sell it. Yeah, Brian Patterson. And he helped us sell it, and we made $50K off that deal. And that
guess what? He made about 170 on flipping it.
Yeah,
nice.
So it's a win-win, and we're stoked because that got us out of debt. Joining your mastermind helped us learn the importance of, and that's honestly, I wasn't coaching or even trying to get into this space until I learned from you, Sean. Like, you give back. I'm not even trying to say, hey, everybody sign up for my coach. I'm just saying, hey, let me give you as much information as I can from our experience. And if you want me to help you individually, great. I'd love to. Let's work some out.
Right.
But it's all about, I guess, the more you give, the more you get. That's what I've learned.
Absolutely. All right. So, so now here's the next question. For the people that are growing. So you had the $208,000 a month. How are you going to double and triple that? What's your plan to double and triple that? So now you're at 800,000 a month. What would it take to get to 800 grand a month?
Double, triple the leads.
Yeah, triple the leads, spend triple the money.
So instead of 30, so now you're spending 90.
Yeah.
So 90K a month. So you're at 90K a month instead of getting 600 leads, right? You're getting 1,800 leads a month.
Yep. So then we're gonna have to hire more lead intake or lead managers to handle the lead.
So hire some more.
So probably 2 to 3 more. I don't think that we're at capacity with the 2 we have. I think they could handle more. We're getting 30 leads a day. That's 15 each. Plus follow-ups, I think they could handle closer to 20 to 30 each.
Right.
And then definitely have to hire at least 1 more acquisitions, if not 2. And then
at least.
Yeah, at least, right? How many acquisitions guys do you have?
We got 6.
Yeah, so you got 6. So you don't have lead managers though, so the model's a little bit different.
We don't have lead managers.
Yeah, probably need 2 to 3 more at least. And
I think that, the leads are the lifeblood. And, every time we hire someone, I have to, I turn up our budget, $500, $800 a day, and that will generate the leads coming in to be able to support that person, to be able to get the leads, obviously excluding direct mail and stuff like that. But so if someone is going to double their business, triple their business, it's all evolved around people and it's all evolved around leads, right? If you got the leads, right, then you can bring on the people, support the people, you make more offers, you get more deals. So what's great about this business is you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out, right? It's literally leads, process, and people. If you put those 3 together, there's no, it's like, I have leads going on. We're doing interviews. Literally, we do 4 or 5 interviews a week. turn down most people. We just hired a rock star. I mean, excited Casey. I mean, this lady's a 20-year veteran closer. And she's excited about real estate and she's gonna kill it. So she just started Monday. So
Send
we're
in
really
the closer.
excited for her to go kill it.
Do you find the women are better closers than men?
Well, so far our entire acquisition team is women.
I knew a lot of them were women.
Well, Sean, another thing that I think is going to get us there, I'm curious to see what you think, because you have so many people in your network and coaching. Have you looked at other like students like me or anybody in the network as like potential to get more JV deals and get more deals done by partnering? Or because I see tons of people are reaching out, hey Nate, can you help me sell this deal? Can you help me move this deal? I have a warm lead. And it's just like, obviously I can't look at everybody's deal, but I do think if you can somehow optimize having them send in their deals through like a website, which we do have a website, and move people's deals. Have you explored that yourself with your network?
Oh yeah. I mean, we got 4 deals this week just from JV deals.
Okay.
Just, we got 2 California deals and an East Coast deal we're working on right now. California deals a minimum $40,000 spread. The one we got a small one, a $10,000 spread one, but we got this other California one that could be a monster deal. Perfect. So yeah, I mean, it's like if you put the word out, that you're going to JV and work with people, and especially now that you build a team and you kind of dedicate a person that's going to manage the whole process, then the leads can come in. Now, we did it. We've done it a couple different ways. We've done it where submit us a qualified lead. That doesn't work. You actually have to upload the contract. It has to be in contract, and then we'll take it from there. Because then we'll typically underwrite it. I can tell you most of the contracts that come in, they're not even deals.
Yeah,
right? They're not even deals.
Yeah, because the people don't know how to get the deals.
So so you gotta what we've done is like put a video together and kind of explain what a deal is, and kind of do your, Redfin, Zillow, 70%. That's your starting point. If that's your starting point, then good. But if you kind of do something like that, then you can kind of educate them what a deal is, then they can submit a deal. And then, dedicate a person that's going to be able to manage all that process as a, kind of take ownership of it.
So I think that will be a way that we'll get there too, is leveraging, how many people we can help move their deals. So.
Yeah, because there's no cost associated to it except for the employee cost, right? There's no marketing cost. Like, for marketing, if it's, I mean, think about it. You guys are, spending $4,200 to actually close a deal. Your average deal size is about 23,000 based upon the 9 and the 208. So, I mean, that's good, right? That's really good. I mean, you got a significant profit. You got about a $19,000 potential profit in there, where now you can reinvest back into marketing. You can pay your payroll team, and you guys do pretty well yourself. But the bottom line is that if you can bring in 3, 5, 7, 10 deals, to come in, and there's no marketing associated with that, well, that's $42,000 of additional revenue, that on 10 deals that are coming in. So now that $42,000 you can take and increase your marketing budget, which is going to generate more leads, which is, or $42,000 just in a month off 10, free deals is what we call them. Well, now you can hire somebody, right? You can hire a person, or 2 or 3 or 4 people that can help you scale your business. So, which is cool. So
that's
the goal. Awesome interview. If you guys going to leave one thing apiece for the audience, what would it be? So Nathan, one word of encouragement, suggestion. I know you said action. What would be one thing that someone is probably, you'd probably pay for speed, right? Pay for speed.
Well, I think you could spend years and years trying to figure this out yourself, or you can sign up for 6-Figure Syndicate. You can sign up for a First Check Challenge. They're everywhere, right? It's just who do you want to work with, right? And I think everybody will help you get there quicker. I mean, I wouldn't say everyone, but you've helped us a ton. I like the mastermind format. I've learned from it. Mm-hmm. I see the value. So that'd be for me. Is you want to get in this industry, you can spend $5,000 on mailers and not get a single phone call, or you can spend 5, 10K on, what I have, what you have, what these other guys have, and you can actually get value and get a good start. So pay for speed, that which we've done. I think it's helpful.
Cool. Corey?
Keep your lead flow up. If you don't have leads, it's your business is not a business. You're just, if you don't have leads, you're not going to have a business. You're going to have a lot of work on your hands. So once you get leads, you can build a business. So get your leads up, learn how to get leads, and you'll get deals. Even if you're not good, you'll get a lot of deals. You can get deals if you have enough leads.
Awesome.
So pay for speed. Great advice, and pay
guys.
For leads.
Pay for leads and pay for speed and pay for leads. Right?
Yeah, and Sean, we'll be seeing you at Corey won't be able to make it, but I'm excited to see you at the end of the month. And dude, I just love learning from you and from all the greats. So I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, and hopefully you can come on Investor Thrive podcast. I got 272 subscribers, so
nice.
It's growing.
I am there. Maybe we can do it when you're down here.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
So again, thank you guys. Appreciate it. You guys have grown so much, and you've really, really done well. I'm super impressed and super proud of you guys for going out there and crushing it. So anybody listening right now, go to YouTube, check out Nathan Payne.
Yeah.
Go to
it's Nathan Payne, Investor Thrive.
Nathan Payne, Investor Thrive. Check out that, or go to iTunes, check out the podcast. You can learn more from him and Corey. And again, you guys are rock stars. Greatly appreciate it. Yes.
One last thing. Wholesaling Real Estate Mastermind is my Facebook group that I started because I love the mastermind idea that you had. So I made one called Wholesaling Real Estate Mastermind. Join it. I do free, we do a deal analysis call every Thursday. We do a celebrity dial where we actually dial with people in the group, and not even students, just people. We'll call your leads for you, critique you. So we're just trying to give out as much as we can, Sean. And so
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. We had a guy.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because because new people want to know how a deal where it came from, what was the situation. Most people are afraid of calling people. So if they're able to see an example of someone that's actually done it, which is great, and it kind of puts you on the spot, which gets your adrenaline flowing, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, we had a guy yesterday. He got fired up on the seller. There's a guy in our group that Scott, and I don't think he got fired up, but it was a pretty funny call. But yeah, every Tuesday we do that, and we call it the celebrity dial, like a celebrity shot when you're playing beer pong or water pong or whatever you want to call it. It's the celebrity shot. We call it the celebrity dial. Get on that phone. Let's help you out.
Start dialing. And that's every Thursday?
Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And the deal analysis is every Thursday at 1 p.m. So
okay, got it.
I mean, we'd love to have you
check out his Facebook group.
We'd love to have you do a celebrity dial for us one time. Hop on the group.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Make a call.
Like that'd be fun. We'll close some deals.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun. All right, guys. Well, congratulations. You guys rocked. Great interview. Thanks for knowing all your stuff. I greatly appreciate it. I think there's a ton of nuggets for people. And I'll see you guys soon.
Later.
Thank you, Sean.
Boom. Good job, guys.
Yeah, Sean. Do you need us to?
Sorry, I drilled you with all the questions.
No, it's